It is fast becoming my favorite day of the week, my friends. It's a Tuesday and time for another NHCC Alumni Coffee Break. Joining me today, I'm incredibly excited, is Roy Richardson Jr. He is a debut filmmaker that is making his waves and way into the world of film. Roy, welcome to the program.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. And this is exciting. We had a really neat conversation off camera. And
Mhm.
right now, something that's really interesting, Roy, is this is a large group of alumni that are looking at all of the unique stories that are being told by people of color, by women, by
Mhm.
all of these diverse groups and probably embracing all of the diversity that really is the American tapestry of life. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And capturing their story in these short films. Tell us a little bit more.
So the goal that we're trying to achieve here is we want to give spotlight to more stories, including people of color and women and those who are less represented in film, especially people who kind of get stereotyped or pigeonholed into certain roles because of how they look or their gender or how they identify. We want to do a wide variety of stories from comedy to drama, documentaries, horror, any interesting story that we can get our hands on and try to get as many different types of people involved as possible our so that our backgrounds, are as diverse and different as possible. I think it's a beautiful thing.
I love it. And I like the fact that, not only that it's a large group of alumni from North Hennepin that are doing this. So you've got writers, you've got fellow filmmakers, you're grabbing stories from our alums and capturing these in meaningful ways, but you're doing it in a way that is kind of changing the paradigm a bit, isn't it? So it's delivering these, as you said, in drama, comedy, in horror to
Mhm.
help get that message across, but make it almost universal.
Yeah, yeah. I want to try to make. I feel like there's this weird thing in film where it's like, well, you can't make a movie like The Breakfast Club if it doesn't have all white kids. But I'm like, you can. Like, that's not our America today has so many different types of people that it's just wild to me that it's not really being reflected on the screen. And so I want to use my, writing and my connections and try to get those stories told because they're interesting stories. And it's always great to feel seen when you go to a movie or to turn on the TV.
Absolutely. And you're passionate about this, I can tell. And
Yeah.
that passion always fuels that excitement and that energy. But I think it'd be great to understand where that passion comes from. What inspired you to head in this direction?
Oh, wow. A lot of things, I love movies. I will watch movies all day, like every day if I could. Um, but there was a point where I was not really acting and there were just no roles coming my way. And a lot of that felt because of what I looked like. And it got to the point where I sat down with actually one of our professors, Kathy Hendrickson, and she gave me the advice to look at people that I look up to and see how they did it, how they made it. And a lot of the people that I look up to just wrote their own stuff and went out and got their friends involved and got their communities involved, and that's how they got their start. So it just seemed like a no-brainer that I should do that and try to get my friends and get my family involved if possible as well.
I love it. And that's really about personal branding and developing your professional presence. And then in the end, you're blazing your own trail, which I think is amazing. And this is a neat segue in that your aspirations and your debut as a filmmaker is really centering on social issues and racial issues of our time. And that's a very timely subject, as you know.
Mhm.
And as you know, we shared off camera. North Hennepin has created a new racial and social justice leadership scholarship
Mm.
that focuses on this very issue. And I'd love to get your take on it. There'll be two $1,000 awards. It's for
Wow.
students who are invested in racial and social justice and want to engage in initiatives or take action to address this so that our country becomes a better country and a more responsive country.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, I think that's wonderful. I think that's great. I mean, as we've seen in the past year, uh, race is something that really needs to be addressed, and it's something that we can no longer just pretend is going super well.
Yeah.
So I think that it is really important to make sure that people who are very passionate about racial injustice and going out and helping, it's really great that North Hennepin is empowering them to go and pursue those dreams and goals. It's awesome.
That's wonderful. And I'm hoping maybe as we have, because we'll name two recipients this year,
Great.
actually this fall. So I'm going to stay in touch with you. And, I'm hoping that there may be some connections for you and your production company. And as you are embracing all of the NHCC alums, this might
Yeah,
be a great opportunity to connect you with some other people that feel very passionate about this type of work.
yeah, yeah.
And
That would be great.
yeah, I think so too. And Roy, I'm pumped. I gotta ask you this last question. You got a short film, my friend, in production right now. Tell our
Absolutely.
audience a little bit about that.
Yeah. So today, actually, we're going into the first day of production for the short film I wrote called The Minnesota Renaissance Man. I don't want to give away too much, but it's mostly just about, I think there's something really exciting about failure. I think that failing at something just means that there's a new opportunity around the corner. And it's about these two friends who are filmmakers who are looking after this Minnesota myth it's not a real person, but
Yep.
and once they find him, they realize that he's not exactly who he said he is. And it's them dealing with, how do we deal with this failure? How do we go about this? It's going to be shot kind of like a mockumentary. Uh, it's also going to have a lot of our alum. One of my best friends is also a graduate from North Hennepin. He helped me write it, and he's also going to be playing opposite me in the film. The other star of the film also is a North Hennepin student. So I love to get my North Hennepin people involved because there's a lot of talent coming out of North Hennepin, like a lot of talent. So it's a great place to be, I think.
I agree. And there is some crazy talent, Roy, going on right here with you. I can see it in your eyes. That is awesome. And I'm excited about your premise. I zeroed in on the failure. There's another opportunity around the corner.
Yeah,
I think that is an awesome premise to embrace in a movie, simply
mm,
because people don't know how to fail necessarily or see failure as something that is devastating and you can't come back from. And you're
absolutely.
absolutely right. There's always an opportunity for every failure that happened, and there are many, many people throughout history that have failed until
Mhm.
they succeeded, and they are the ones that are probably the most dynamic and
Mhm.
their successes are the most amazing. So that's a great subject.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, I wanted to make sure I wanted to write something positive. There's a lot of negativity. 2020 has been a crazy year. So I was like,
Yes.
if I can do my part by writing something that makes people laugh and it teaches them something along the way, that's awesome.
Well, Roy, this has been so much fun, and I just have to say to our audience, watch Mr. Roy Richardson Jr., the filmmaker that is going to make a difference in the world with these incredible films. And Roy, sign me up. I am your biggest fan, and I want to see that movie when it's done.
All right, I'll let you know. It should be probably in the fall. We should be done hopefully around then.
Awesome. Maybe you'll come back to the coffee break and tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, just send me an invite. I'm back.
Awesome. I appreciate it. Roy Richardson Jr., thank you for being on the NHCC Alumni Coffee Break.
Thanks for having me.